do now is in just a moment, I'm going to bring up Mario and Alyssa, who went on the mission trip with us. Edie, if you'd put the picture of the missions team that went. This is the team that went to Peru. There was 12 of us. In the middle is Esteban. He was our translator. Incredible young man. Pray for him. He's a credible young man who loves the Lord, and he's actually training to become a professional translator. He learned English. He's very good English. I said, how'd you learn it? He goes, video games. And he says, I play way too many of them. But this is our team, and we were out just in the town that day, seeing the town of Pachacamac. Oh no, this is in Manchai, I think. But we went to two places. We went to Pachacamac, which was a community where the orphanage was, and we stayed there in a little apartment. There was 12 of us in about a 1,400 square foot apartment for 7 days, 24/7 together. And we got along great. It was a test. And then in the afternoons, we worked every morning in the afternoons, we went 30 minutes away to another town called Manchai, and these are all suburbs of Lima. Lima is 11 million people. And these are all suburbs of Lima. And Manchai was where the Oasis Children's School is. So the Juniper Tree Orphanage is people who the state has given custody to kids alive, and they raise these children. And the Oasis Children's School is a school that the kids have a parent or one or both parents, but their opportunities are so minimal and the poverty is so great. This school comes alongside and helps these children to learn and to follow Jesus, and it's unbelievable. And Peru requires school from 3 years old up. And so they have 150 kids who come there every day. And so we were there in the afternoon doing VBS. And Deborah humiliated me and made me wear the banana suit. And we started every day with a song with the Banana Man. And there's pictures online. It's part of my humiliation, I get it. But I want to give you a metaphor by this picture. Would you put the picture of the little building up? This, after we went to the orphanage, Teresa and I took a few more days and went hiking up in the Andes. This is a hike we took up in what's called the Rainbow Mountains. We hiked up to 16,500 feet. Boy, I had a hard time breathing. And we walked through this village of the Quechua Indians. And incredible people, resourceful, they live at that elevation. And they had this village there, and this is one little house in that village. It's mud bricks with straw roof. And then what do you see in top right? A solar panel. To me, this was a metaphor of our whole trip, of a people who live difficult lives, way difficult than our lives. A lot of poverty, resources are minimal, but I'm telling you, just about every adult I saw had a cell phone. And so this picture here, I saw that, I said, that expresses what I saw in Peru. Great need, great simplicity in the way people lived, but yet they had a cell phone, because you got to have a cell phone in this world, evidently. I can't do without mine. But it was just a way I thought, okay, we're here to minister, and these people are just like us, but yet very different than us. So what I want to do now, with this idea of the great needs in Peru, but yet the technology's there, they have it. With that idea, I want to invite up here Alyssa and Mario. Where are you guys at? Mario's really nervous. He doesn't like speaking in front of people. But Alyssa's got no problems. She's doing great. So I have some questions that are very vague questions. You guys fill in the gap like you want. Mario, why don't you start? So why don't you just tell them an experience you had that for you kind of encapsulates the purpose of the trip and what struck you, wherever you want to go with that question.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it was a complete honor and privilege. I've had the privilege to go on some trips here and there, but this was a trip that my whole family got to go on, from my 7-year-old all the way to my 14-year-old, and obviously me and my wife. And so there was a moment in the trip where kind of, I think, just like anything else, the timing was bad. It was way too much money to fundraise and just all the things against us, but we still did it. And we got out there and our heads were spinning from travel. And probably 2 days into us doing the VBS, there was just kind of this moment. And I was kind of asking, Lord, why, what do you have for me here? You know, and there was this moment as I was walking into where they were doing VBS, and I saw my wife translating some scriptures to the kids. I saw my daughters helping in like a science project for VBS. I saw, you know, my son playing soccer. You know, he's never met anyone that's not his friend, and it was just this moment of a bucket list moment for me, that my whole family was involved in ministry. And ministry as a job for me, I work full-time for Young Life. Typically that takes me away from family sometimes. And this was something that we got to experience together. And it was a real holy moment. And in the real peripheral, Tony was wearing a banana suit running around. So, yeah.
That's the frosting on the cake for him. So Mario, look at the picture behind you that I put up there. Tell about that day and the experience of going to visit that young lady up there.
Well, you know, this probably towards the end of our week there, and we had been running VBS, and this lady, her daughter, was in the school that we were running VBS, and she was so thankful. And we got up to her place, so we had to take this windy road up into this very desert-like conditions, as you can see in the background. And she essentially had a shack of a house. But there was pride in her house. It was, you know, she had a bedroom, she had a small kitchen, and to watch her light up as she shared her story with Jesus. I mean, it was unbelievable. Man, sorry, my allergies a little bit here. It was, and I think all of us thought it, but Tony made the comment, and they translated it, said, you have an unbelievable smile as you were telling your story about how you met Jesus and watching your daughter being taught about who Jesus is. And she had this unbelievable sense of pride in her place, and we got to pray for her. But I think more than anything, what that represents to me is that we have this idea, I can say me as an American, we're going to go and we're going to impart this great whatever, but yet these people end up ministering to us. They have joy, like I want joy like that. And that picture represents, and for my whole family to see that, it was a special moment.
Mm-hmm. So, Alyssa, what would you like to share? Something you learned or experienced that you would like, that maybe touched your heart, that you'd like to share with us?
For me, I created this image in my head before going to Peru that all the kids and all the orphans that I was going to interact with were like sad children. And, you know, I was going to go there and help these like hopeless children. But when I got there, all the kids were so happy. They were like normal children. So when I got there, it was like so refreshing to me that these kids were just kids and they were just playing and laughing and smiling and like loving life, even though they had it so rough. So it was really surprising to me to get there and be like, oh, these are like regular kids, you know, this is like my little brother, you know. So it was crazy.
And you can see the pictures we put up for you.
Yeah.
Just a couple pictures there that's tell them where that is.
That's at the Oasis. That's at the school we did, and we do science projects with them. And actually, the little boy in the black was my favorite. I'm not supposed to have favorites, but his name was Jefferson. They have really American names. Another little boy was named Ken, but you don't pronounce it Hefferson. You pronounce it Jefferson. So, yeah, those little boys, both of them, all of them, they were so great. Yeah, those were my favorites right there. That was at a hike that we went up to. We went up to these mountains, and 3 months out of the year, they're green like that, and the rest of the year, they're just sand. So it was really cool to hike them. They were beautiful, and yeah, it was really fun. And a bunch of dads went, right?
That's right. Yep.
A lot of, the Oasis invited dads of the kids because the dads are often not in the kids' lives because they're usually working to make an income for their family. So it was really neat seeing that too, and a lot of moms went as well. So it was a really cool experience.
And I'm going to come back to you a second here. In fact, you guys think about what you bring home. Think about that question. What did you bring home that's going to change how you approach daily life when it comes to serving God and serving people? So I know I'm setting you up there, But the Oasis Children's Home, we had two ladies who gave us their testimonies. One, we went to the school and a lady came in and gave us her testimony. And then the lady went to her house up on the hillside there. And that was, in the United States, often the hillside is the expensive property, where the people who have a little more resources live because of the view. There, the hillside is where the poorest of the poor live, because a lot of them are actually squatters. They go up there and you can buy an entire house for $150. And we mean they basically buy fencing material, put it together, and then put a roof on it, about $150. And this lady lived in about, 150 square feet. And she has electricity. She has 2 light bulbs, enough electricity for 2 light bulbs, 1 in each room. She just got water the month before. Before that, everyone on that hillside had to haul their water up to their house. They cooked with propane on a stove, had to haul the propane up. So this is a hard life. And so I was telling you about this for a reason, and I don't know why I'm even talking right now. What was I saying, Alyssa?
What can we bring back?
Okay. Gosh, I hate it when I have a good reason to talk and I don't remember why. So they're going to talk why I remember. So what did you guys bring back that you'd like to share with us?
I think for me, when I think about the whole experience, I think to almost like six or 7 months ago, when Barry and Mary Beth were talking about putting this trip together, and Barry and Mary Beth should be up here as well. They helped put together all the logistics, and I want to give them a round of applause. Barry and Mary Beth. They did an unbelievable job of kind of leading us, and I think back to that time frame, and I looked at my schedule for the summer, and it was busy. I mean, it was filled up with stuff to do, other fundraisers to do, and I just thought, this is silly. And the other part was when I saw the amount that we had to fund, I'm like, why don't we just send this organization a check? Let's just make it easy on everybody, and really processing that with Tony and Barry and some mentors of mine. And really the blessing that we could be just by showing up there. They really understood, man, we came halfway across the world to come just to try and be a little bit of an encouragement. And what I'm taking home is that when I think back to 6-7 months ago, at some point I had to buy the plane ticket. The idea of getting involved, where the rubber met the road, and I had to do something about it. And I thought about even myself here back home and our family back home and the opportunities. We don't have to go halfway across the world to serve. We can do it in our own town. We can do it in our own church. But at some point, we got to buy the ticket. And so it was something I'm bringing home is how can I continue to challenge myself and my family to buy the ticket, to still get involved here and to get out of my comfort zone. Not just me, but as a whole family. So we're looking at ways on how we can do that moving forward. So.
Yeah. I'm stealing that, by the way. Buy the ticket. I'm stealing that. That's good. Alyssa.
For me, I originally wasn't even planning on going this trip. My dad was, and I was planning on just going with my dad. And then last minute, he decided that it wasn't going to work out for him. So I was going to go by myself, which was a little crazy for me because I've never been out of the country. For me, though, what I take back is when I was with the kids and they saw my cell phone or just the littlest things, they were so amused by how I lived by a big lake and just how beautiful it was. So for me, I'm really grateful. I've become more grateful where I live and just how good I have it, basically. And it's made me love my little brother more. I know that's weird to say, but my brother's a little brat sometimes, but it's made me more grateful for mine. And so, yeah, I think that's
the only thing more bratty than little brothers is little sisters, by the way. just so we get even on that one. Yeah. Thank you. I wish we could bring them all up here and show you the slides. It's kind of like the summer vacation when your friends invite you over to show you their summer vacation slides. You go, are you kidding me? I have to look at your pictures? There's some pictures on the wall out there that Barry and Mary Beth just put up yesterday. And actually, I want to bring Barry up now and explain to you the paperwork that was on the seats that we from Kids Alive.
As
And-
Barry's coming up, can I just say this real quick? It was I know we see Tony, he's up here every week, but we had the privilege of getting not just hear him speak, and we did little devotionals at night, but getting to see him, not just him, but Teresa do ministry together, and it was, man, such a blessing. Sometimes you don't have that connection with folks just once a week, but we all lived together in small quarters, and watching Tony and Teresa minister together, and it was a real privilege and a lot of fun. So thank you, Teresa.
So Barry, explain to us.
Well,
this.
first of all, you guys know who I am, but Mary Beth and I are the directors of missions here, and we really had a privilege of leading this trip and putting it together. And as Mario said, buying the ticket. That doesn't just apply to the missions trip going overseas. It applies to your local missions, just getting involved. And what a blessing, that can be for anybody to just get involved in your local missions, your outreaches, and then the overseas missions as well. And that isn't just, going overseas and doing projects and VBSs, but it can be partnering with missionaries, site partnerships, all kinds of stuff. It's very fulfilling. But the stuff you see on your seats, we didn't have enough to put on every seat out there, but first of all, you'll see a letter here. Now, this is from the country director. And if you were here last October when the missionaries were here from Kids Alive, the Anderson family, he has now been promoted as the country director. So this is a letter from him, and it's kind of an update on what's going on there. And if you find time to read that, there's some extra copies on the missions table out in the lobby as well if you didn't receive one. But you'll find it pretty interesting on what's going on there. But one of the most important things on that is the back. And when you flip that over, you'll see things to rejoice with and praise God for, but also join with in asking Him for. So those are prayer requests. And there's a lot of stuff going on over there. When you come into a new job, it's always tough and difficult. And there's changes to be made, there's updates to be done, but there's a lot of needs over there. The other two sheets are updates for the two places that we were at, and that would be the Oasis School and the Juniper Tree Orphans Home. And these are updates, basically what's going on there, and it tells a little bit about that and how you can partner with them in prayer and support. So I would encourage you both, or all of you out there, to read both of these to see how that you can help with those as well. And then last but not least, I'm going to let Tony hold this. After everybody had left, the day that we had left, we left the latest of the group. They presented us with this, and this was just so touching. The kids in the orphanage made this for us.
Hold that. Yeah.
They all put their name on it. That's all their handprints. And the trick was we had to get it back looking good.
Without,
But what a touching trip. The kids, the missionaries, the nationals there that work so very hard, the home moms and dads. It's just such a blessing to work alongside of them and encourage them and just be a blessing to them.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay, I'll take that. Anything else you guys want to say? Then let's just thank God for this privilege. Father, we thank you immensely for privileges you give us, for stretching us. For, as that song Terry sang, stepping out into deeper waters and realizing that if you're not involved in it, Lord, it's going to fail. I'm going to drown. But you always come through, Father. So thank you for what you taught us down there. And help us never to come back here without being changed by something, Lord, that you taught us about how blessed we are and what you call us to do with those blessings. We thank you for your blessings. Now help us to learn how to share them. In Christ's name we thank you. Amen. So thanks you guys very much.